Blog Talk Radio.
What's going on, y'all? This is BeatStreet Sports Talk Radio. I'm your host, Lee, a.k.a. the Hoops Guru. It is a fantastic Friday, June the 27th, and it is post-NBA draft. So if anybody wants to call in and get fired up about what they saw in the draft, please do so. The number is 347-945-6921. And as always, I got my middle, my man, Mr. MKA. What's going on, baby?
Really? I'm good, brother.
That's when your octane level need to be a little up, man. You know, we got to give the people some entertainment value right now.
Oh, no, I got entertainment just because of the stuff I say. I got to hear about it later on, so I'm good.
Oh, okay. There you go, man. So this is our post-NBA draft show. I thought it was a pretty good draft. A lot of good things have transpired. First thing is I have to give a shout-out to Adam Silver. I thought it was very classy of him to go ahead and let Isaiah Austin, the center from Baylor, to have his moment in the draft. I know that he actually had the reality to shake the commissioner's hand and take that Photoshop. I know that was a very emotional and touching moment. And it seems like Adam Silver's touching on all cylinders so far his first year as commissioner. Your thoughts?
It was it kind of took me by surprise. I wasn't expecting that because, I didn't. That's not something I would expect Stern to have done. So Silver's been putting his imprint on the league ever since the Donald Sterling incident. So, like I said, it was a good touch. It created a story for non-basketball fans to go ahead and be tied into the draft. So, not saying it was a marketing technique, but even if it wasn't indirectly, it also benefited the league and also the event for the night. And also, there's reports saying, also the interview afterwards, saying he's going to finish up his last 2 years of school and that he has a standing offer with the league to go ahead and work in the capacity with the NBA Cares Foundation. So they're going to go ahead and include him into the league, even though he's not going to be able to play. So that's another thing that's a nice touch as well.
Yeah, it was. I agree, man. I definitely agree. So far, his first year, man, he's making cats really feel good about the commissioner, like he has their back. I think that's important. But let's get into this draft, man. The first few picks, I guess, went according to plan. Andrew Wiggins to Cleveland, Jabari Parker to Milwaukee, and I was surprised though at number 3. I didn't think Philly was going to snatch up Joel Embiid after they waited a year for Noah. But how do you feel about that? You think that was a good pick? I mean, maybe in next year they could have a healthy Twin Towers. But it seems like Philadelphia is going to take another year.
I wasn't surprised at all. I thought that somebody was going to go ahead and take him because the thing is, at some point, it's going to turn into a value pick. So if it wasn't going to go the first 2 picks, then I was like, anybody between 3 and 7 that takes him, they're going to be like, well, look, yeah, he might be hurt, he might not play the whole year, but the value for a player that supposedly was supposed to be the number 1 player in the whole draft, at some point you're going to be forced to take him. And Sixers took him when they already waited a year for the guy who should have been the number 1 pick last year. They already had experience with doing that and was totally fine with it. So it wasn't totally outside the realm of possibility in which they did of taking Embiid at the 3 spot. And then this year they'll have no plan. So, it all works out. It was like this. I'm not a fan of him as a player. I mean, I'm not against him. I just don't think, the Hakeem Olajuwon thing just really kills me. I think that's too much to put on anybody. He could probably be a solid player, maybe like a low-end double-double type of dude. But, it's a good pick for them. They needed that kind of help.
Okay, and I'm trying to remember, then with their 10th pick, the Philadelphia 76ers got the kid Peyton out of Louisiana Lafayette, but traded him. There must have been more to this trade because they traded that pick to Orlando, who had the 12th pick for Dario Saric, the power forward out of Croatia. That kid signed a 2-year deal. He said he may be able to get out of his deal after 1 year. So this kid's overseas. So basically, the 2 picks you just had in the draft, neither one of your top 210 picks are playing this year for Philly. What's your grade for the Sixers for this draft, man?
To be fair, I know some people are saying it's incomplete, but I told some people today we're not doing incomplete in this show. I'm going to say right now, I don't want to give them an F. I'm going to say right now, I'm going to surprisingly give them a C. And the reason why I'm giving them a C is because they got Embiid at the pick that they have him at. But despite him being injured, just for the fact that he was supposed to be number 1 pick, if you can get number 1 pick at a lower pick, even though he's not playing, I think that still helps your team long term. I mean, let's be honest. No one expects Sixers to make the playoffs and like that. So, I mean, this is something towards the future. So I give them a C just on the strength of Embiid because I'm not really sure what they did. The second round picks I'm not too high on, and I forget what they did.
1 second. The second round, I was mad about the first round because your top 210 picks are not going to participate this year. The third round, you got KJ McDaniels at 32. Aggressive, small forward out of Clemson, versatile, athletic. I like him. I thought he would have been a first rounder, and at 32, you're pretty much a first round pick. Then later on, I was surprised they didn't keep Russ Smith. They traded that pick. They got Jeremy Grant from Syracuse. But then again, he's another small forward, so you have 2 small forward second-round picks. So maybe those 2 will battle it out for playing time.
Where did Russ Smith go?
Russ Smith, he got traded to the Pelicans. I think that's
okay. I like Russ. Yeah, I like Russ.
I mean, hey, the Pelicans, they got Osik, and they got Russ Smith now. I forgot what they got. I got to go back and see what else they got in the first round. Then they also traded their 53rd pick to the Spurs for Jordan McRae, the shooting guard out of Tennessee. I think he led the SEC in scoring, so he's a volume shooter. I think he could be effective scoring in the NBA. And they also got Corey Jefferson, the power forward out of Baylor. So, I mean, the second round, there's some talent. Maybe some of those guys with playing time may wind up being more valuable than anticipated. So, in that regard, I'm going to give the Sixers a C as well. One of your top 10, when you have 2 top 10 picks, to me, I think you should have went for some players, at least one of the 2. If you're going to take Indy at 3, you should have got Doug McDermott or somebody that's playing right now. Well,
that's the thing. A lot of people in Philly were saying they didn't want McDermott, but then after the draft, they pretty much were saying, based upon who they took at their 10th pick, they said they would have been totally fine with McDermott at 10. I think if they would have got McDermott at 10, I would have definitely pushed the grade up overall for the Sixers. I mean, I still don't think they did good enough with all the picks they had and the tanking that they did. But you know what? I mean, that's what they want to do. Like I told you all the time, championship organizations start from the top. So it's not like they was expected to do anything anyway. So.
Well, the Sixers, I don't even know who this other guy is out of Serbia. I guess they're going to stash him overseas. So 4 second-round picks should make the roster because I don't think they really have anybody on the contract. So all these guys should make the team, and for those guys, it's going to be a great opportunity. Like Jordan McRae, I think this is going to be a good opportunity for him, and also for KJ McDaniels. Jordan plays the 2, KJ plays the 3. Both of those guys can score. And they're both aggressive, running the floor. You know, I think the team's going to be terrible, but those guys should put up some numbers and at least kind of make it exciting there in Philly because that's all they're going to have the root for this year's excitement because they're not going to get a lot of wins.
Well, they're saying that a lot of teams are pretty much stashing players. We'll talk about that with some other teams' picks because they're just trying to not have no guaranteed contracts on their books because, you know, everybody's believing they have chances with players they don't really have a chance with in free agency. So
now, I'm not going to go down pick by pick, but I do want to talk about Orlando's pick at 4. Aaron Gordon, I thought that was kind of a reach, man. Like, to me, I thought they were definitely going to take Exum if he went to 4. Because to me, I don't know if they're going to keep Jameer Nelson. To me, they need to change their point guard anyway. Oladipo shouldn't be playing point anymore. I think he should definitely be moved over to the 2. And like Aaron Gordon, all right, he's a fine power forward, but they got Kyle O'Quinn, they have Mo Harkless, they got that kid Vucevic, I believe. They have Toby Harris. Like, they got a lot of forwards. They got a lot of forwards and small forwards, power forwards, stretch fours. I don't understand why they jumped there. To me, that wasn't a glaring need they had. Unless this dude's a lot better than I think he is.
Well, from a talent perspective, who got more talent, the Magic or the Sixers?
I say the Magic.
All right. One of the thoughts out there is the fact that the Magic want to go ahead and get a young athletic team and a young athletic competitive team. So their team is looked upon as being all those three things, and that's things that they're focusing on, and they're just figuring that with, because remember, Jacques Vaughn is underneath that Popovich system. Their thing is that if they can go ahead and get young, athletic, and if they can play team ball with defense, that's the mold in which he's trying to go ahead and get that team, because there's a lot of defense-oriented guys, hustle guys on that team. I think the oldest player on the squad is like 24. The youngest now is Gordon's 18. Peyton is 20. So, yeah, you're right. They do have a lot of what we would call similar players, but I think Gordon, who some people have been comparing him to Andre Iguodala, which I can kind of see that, but he's I think they're right, same height, like 6'8" or whatever, but see, the thing is, Gordon plays bigger. I see Gordon going ahead and playing the power forward spot. Vucevic is the only person for sure I know his spot's not going to be touched. Oladipo, they got to figure what they're going to do to Oladipo. I think he's, like you said, probably the shooting guard that has the kid paid at the point. And then after that, Tobias and all the rest of them cats got to fit in from the shooting guard small forward spot. But I'm looking for Gordon to be the power forward in the maybe not the start of the season, but in the future I can see him being the power forward.
So I guess they didn't take Exum. They must have really liked that Peyton kid on Louisiana Lafayette, because he's going to get some time at the 1. From what I see, he looks like he's a little bit explosive, but he ain't big.
Nah, but he's a defensive. Everybody, I don't know if you noticed, but everybody's been making a whole bunch of Kawhi Leonard comments. Everybody wants these long, big-handed Kawhi Leonard. That's what they call them now, defenders. So he's looked upon that as the point guard spot, and they want to put more pressure on the point guard in Orlando. And they definitely wasn't getting that out of Oladipo or Jameer Nelson. So.
See, but then again, this falls into that situation you don't like. He's 6'3". Oladipo's 6'3" or 6'4". So that's going to be a small backcourt.
But only person who's going to be getting shaked and baked is going to be Peyton, because we know the point guards in the league are ridiculous. Oladipo, like I said, shooting guard position is weak. Like, at the very most, you only got to worry about a matchup nightmare there. Maybe, not counting your interdivisional games, maybe, I'm going to be nice, I'm going to say maybe 6 times a year. Shooting guards are, really weak in leagues. Shooting
guard, you still got to run off screens and respect a lot of shooters out here, man. So it ain't going to be a cakewalk unless you're the guy who's standing in the corner. So, yeah, in that regard. But let's move on. I got to clap my hands, man. I got to tip my hat. I got to give your boy Danny Ainge credit. He might have been the star of the draft last night, man. Marcus Smart and James Young. Hey, you can't be mad at that, man. I think this sets the stage for them to go ahead and try to get some value from Rajon Rondo now. I think that might be coming in the next few weeks. Don't you think?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand. I really wish whatever would come out of Beantown, because I don't understand why they're so hell-bent and determined to get rid of Rondo. Like, this dude, in my opinion, is, if not the best, the second best point guard in the league. The walking double-double. There's too many things that he does to help your team. Even though he's not the greatest scorer, he finds a way to score. I don't understand why you try to get rid of that type of player. And then, I'm looking at Smart. They showed the stats last night. Yeah, he's big. He's like 6'4", 220. So he'll be like a poor man's Derrick Rose without the handle and the explosiveness. But he'll be that big physical, and he can post up type like 80s point guard, like a Mark Jackson dude who's gonna post up guards and stuff. I can see all that, but I just don't. I don't know. I'm just not really sold on what they're doing in Boston right now. I don't see how you get rid of Rondo.
They went well because it's like Rondo's been there, won championships. I don't think he's really interested in this rebuild. So let's go ahead while he has value and add some pieces and just go full throttle with this rebuild, and maybe bring in a solid veteran that can kind of put this whole group together. But Marcus Smart and James Young together, that's a nice 1-2. That's a nice 1-2 punch to build around.
Now, where was James Young from again?
Kentucky. My boy, the left-handed shooting.
The guy.
Small forward.
Yeah, the guy you like.
Yeah, man, I like him a lot.
Okay.
I think he's going to be better at this level. But
yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad picks, like I said. That's not bad.
Marcus Smart, man. Hopefully, he get with Proactive and see if that stuff really works. I mean, he could be a spokesman because the dude's getting kind of rough,
Jesus.
man. He ain't gonna get no model. He ain't gonna get no model with the joints right. He got to clear that up, man. I mean, he's popped up. But all right, I'm gonna stop dissing, man. Let's stand up and give a clap. Clap to the Lakers. It's like the veteran teams. Even when they're down, this is why they get back up real quickly and again taste success. The Los Angeles Lakers, they didn't play around. Number 6, let's take Julius Randle and call it a day. The dude, do these NBA executives watch basketball?
No, listen. People fall into traps. I keep telling you this all the time. People fall into traps of, measurables, highway speed, and they fall in love with workout warriors and they just disregard the tape. There's no way in hell, if you look at the tape, that you telling me the other 6 dudes that went ahead of Randall are better than him. But the people fall in love with combine numbers and things of that nature. Next thing you know, cats move up. So, hey, that's what you want to do.
You look at Philadelphia, right? If Noel's healthy and he's 7 feet, let's go ahead and put your 6'9" Randall right next to this dude and have some healthy, watchable basketball this year. Philly could have easily just got Randall and got Doug McDermott, plugged them in with MCW and Noel, and use those other second-round picks. They've been on the road to recovery. Like, this plan is basically they're going to tank another year,
And for
maybe
what?
get
The Harrison twins?
pick. Yeah, exactly. I'm going to get it. And then Julius Randle's going to have much success out here in L.A. When we look back, Caps will be like, dang, this dude really went 7th behind Aaron Gordon and Joel Embiid. That it's going to be one of those types of situations because he is what he is. That dude's
Marcus Smart.
At least 10-10. You said it, Marcus.
Like I said, I know people been killing me, but I see him as a Millsap. Some people say a Boozer. I just don't like Boozer because I don't think Boozer has any heart no more, nothing like that. So I don't like that comparison. But yeah, he could be anywhere between the Carlos Boozer and the doggone and the Millsap. But I'm going with the Millsap.
Now let's talk about your Chicago Bulls.
Yes, sir.
They had Gary Harris at 19, but they went ahead and put him in the package with their 16th picks to Denver and got my man Doug McDermott. But Gary Harris is a good player too, man. Do you think that was the best move to make, or maybe they kind of should have stayed with the picks they had?
No, that's a good move to make because I keep hearing people, Harris had all this hype going to the draft, then the draft comes and he dropped. So something happened towards the last part of the draft where people wasn't feeling him no more. And when it comes to the Bulls, you got to remember, they like the other kid that gets the dog on the bowl cut with the baby dreads on top of his head. They like him as a doggone as a defensive player at the shooting guard spot because again that's not a big position in the league, so he's locked in at that spot. And they also like the guy Snell. He's like shooting guard, small forward off the bench. So they needed somebody that's gonna be a legitimate shooter. And I know I got Bulls fans like my man Dave in Hawaii. he posted, "Oh, we just drafted Doug," which is real disrespectful. But I had to remind him. I said, "You got to remember, the difference between the Bulls this season and season before last year, Nate Robinson and Bellinelli were shooters, or at least people who could put the ball up. If they had doggone Bellinelli and Nate Robinson, they would have won the first round series. But they didn't have nobody that could actually score. Thibodeau was real good in getting his shooters shots. So I look for McDermott to have a big time, a nice little rookie year and be in the running for rookie of the year, because there's going to be such a lack of scoring on that team that even if Derrick Rose comes back, he just is going to open up even more room for McDermott, who can score inside and outside, and he compensates pretty well for his short arms and having like great athletic ability. Just with shot selection, he got like the Dirk Nowitzki one less setback. So yeah, he can definitely be a scorer, and he's slightly more athletic than some other people think.
With the Bulls, though, I think look free agency wise, they're gonna have to definitely show DJ Augustine something, and DJ Augustine may be able to walk because he may be able to get more money than they're willing to offer, since they're kind of seems like Chicago's trying to really bank on getting Carmelo, so they may lose out on some players, but Heinrich is there for free unrestricted too, and they need at least 2 backup point guards. Definitely, because
they might have learned from last year.
You need a backup for Rose, and you need a backup for Rose's backup just in case Rose ain't there again. So they need 2. They definitely need 2 more point guards on that team. So we'll see what they didn't get one in the draft. So I guess they're going to look for free agency to fill that need again.
Right.
But now, all right, we got to talk about this, man. The clown pick of the first draft. Toronto takes Bruno Cabola, but I don't even know this dude's name.
Oh, Jesus.
He's basically they picked a dude that wasn't in anybody's top 100 for the draft. They took it 20.
Right.
Toronto definitely needs a point guard because Kyle Lowry more than likely is going to bounce, and General Grievous can bounce too. So all that success they had last year, why would they throw away a pick for some guy, as Fran Frasillo said last night, is 2 years from being 2 years away from being able to play in the NBA?
Yeah, first off, that was a great diss to start off. That's a great diss. But the next thing is, this is another team that's what you call is stashing. They're stashing because there's another team that unrealistically has ideas that they can go and they can sign free agents that's not going to go there. Because it's Toronto. Even though Toronto is, what I'm hearing, is a very nice town, is a lot better than what people think. Dudes ain't breaking their neck to go to no freaking Toronto. Now, General Grievous, I don't know who you think all these suitors are that's going to be jocking him. He needs to keep his butt right there because after that New Orleans fiasco, he needs to go and stay someplace where he can get some run and have some success. When it comes to Lowry, I think cats are going to be interested in Lowry, but I think Lowry might outprice himself back to Toronto. Or he might be, some people might try to use him to sign and trade because they've been saying crazy stuff like Toronto trying to get with the Heat and Bosh going back there for Lowry and some other things, but that might be, smashed out, and that's what they got Napier in Miami. So, we'll see, what these teams do. But, free agency and the draft are 2 parts, so.
Well, what we know is I could see Kyle Lowry just signing straight up with the Lakers and going over there and doing some things. You got Kyle Lowry, Kobe Bryant, Julius Randle, and, you add a Carmelo or something, you got something to be kind of proud of out west. I don't think it'll get you far, but at least it'll be watchable basketball. The rumors of Chris Bosh going back to Toronto, it sounds interesting. Now, they do have something to work with. I could see him being enticed with that. But then again, I could see him also, hey, I'm loving this sunny weather and being in LeBron's shadow, getting all the glory and not having to actually produce as much. So I could see him going with that end too. So free agency starts next Monday, so we'll learn a lot as far as that front goes. But since we talk about Miami, man, this is the one I got to talk about. What the hell is wrong with Michael Jordan and the Charlotte Hornets? Why would you help out a team that went to 4 NBA finals and that's in your division? Help them get the only player they really wanted in the draft.
Well, the way they see it is they thought it was a good business practice because they felt they benefited, and the whole thing is they're not worried about Miami like that. So that's how they see it.
Swept you in the playoffs.
Yeah, they're not worried about that like that. Because the whole thing is like that was last year. We'll get them next time. And hell, all three guys might not even be there again. So you got to remember, a lot of people don't believe all three of them cats are going to come together to form Voltron again. So, a lot of people are not going to be worried about, they're not worried about Miami right now.
I mean, if I'm a GM, I'm being strategic. I have to be like, yo, there's no way I'm letting you guys get the dude you want, especially if it decreases any percentage of you getting LeBron James back to sweep my team again. Hell no. And, I just don't understand why they try to let teams help the good stay, good get better. That just didn't make any sense to me because the guy they got, PJ Harrison was on the board anyway. And, I think they also got a second. Miami gave him a second round 2019 second round pick. So I guess that was worth it.
Yeah.
So I was kind of, that was just, and the bad part about it too is Shabazz Napier is actually good. I mean, when they first took him, I was like, oh shit, excuse my language, but I'm like, dang, Michael Jordan, and Charlotte's putting it together. They got Shabazz and Kemba Walker back together. They could play the 1-2 or Shabazz could back them up. I thought that was a pretty smart play, but then once I heard they immediately changed it to Miami, I was like, wow, man, just really surprised that they did that. But, that's why the strong get stronger, bro. But,
no doubt.
And then there's another one. As I told you, again, you always make me the Hoops Guru, man. You always, you always make me look good disagreeing with me. But the second round, the number 34 pick, the New York Knickerbockers did get Cleanthony early at 34. I mean, that might have been the pick of the draft, man. Like, as far as what the Knicks had 2 days before the draft and what they ended up with, you can't be mad at that. I mean, my thing is, why did every team decide to not pick this dude? Why?
Like I said, man, cats. Well, remember I told you, we got teams that stashing. So you got teams that stashing. So, you got teams that stashing because, like I said, they're thinking that they got a chance to get players they don't really have a chance to get. So that plays a part. And then you just got some other people who just go ahead and, I don't know, their scouting department's a whack. I mean, that's all I can tell you, because there's no way that kid should have gone in the second round. He should have been gone. He should have been a first round talent. Like, I don't even understand, what's wrong or why some of these people get paid to do what they're supposed to do.
The thing that made it even funnier is, like, if you're watching the draft, right, Jalen Rose, Bill Simmons, they're the whole time screaming like, yo, what's up with Cleanthony early? What's up with Cleanthony early? And I'm like, do these GMs, like, not have a TV on in their room or anything? Like, just think, well, hey, maybe we should take this guy. And it's like he perfectly fell into the perfect situation. He fell, and of course, a smart, and it just shows why Phil Jackson is who he is. He didn't even hesitate. Boom. And, like, that's why I said, wow, the Knicks may have a shot at this dude, because everybody so hell-bent on trying to pick you apart and try to find out what holes you have, as opposed to just saying, hey, I know dude could do this, this, and this, and I trust my staff to make him stronger in those other areas he's not, and he could be a good addition to our team.
That's how the other teams feel about their scouting department. If their scouting department told them, oh, yeah, the Cleanthony Early kid, he's okay, but this guy we have right ahead of him, that's what they pay those people for, and that's what they go with. Now, me personally, I think I would have a hard time, if I'm a GM, I would have a hard time just going ahead and just hiring a scouting department when I know I'm going to look at stuff too and just totally depend upon them. I would have to be like a first time ever, like, GM / head of the scouting department dude, because there's no way I could just totally trust my scouting department just on their own. like off the bat. Like they would have to prove to me over a couple of years before I would just totally fall back.
Yeah, I understand that perfectly, and I do got to give you some props before we get out of here too. Your man or your unman Noah Vonleh didn't go as high as he was anticipated to go, and he wound up going to play with Michael Jordan in the Hornets as well at number 9.
That's a good spot for him though.
Why you say that? I don't know if it's
because you got to remember. Yes, because here's the thing. Their whole squad was old boy in the post and also Kemba Walker. And I know a lot of people are not really high on Kemba Walker. You go ahead and I like Kemba because he's a competitive cat. But if you go ahead and you let old boy flex out in the post, you got the Vonleh kid. He's 6'9". He led the Big Ten in rebound last year. He can pad a little bit, and he definitely got a jumper. That gives old boy in the post more room to operate. And he can be like the traditional stretch four crap that everybody loves so much in the league now. You know, where everybody wants to pick and pop big man and all that crap. They don't want to do traditional big man stuff. So, I mean, in that regard, that helps Charlotte out because it's not like Charlotte has a lot of great help because, you know, they just got the old boy in the middle and Kemba, and that's it. They
had Al Jefferson. I guess McBuckets was playing the 4. Not McBuckets. McBob was playing the 4. Like, he's unrestricted.
Mm-hmm.
I just haven't seen him. What I've seen of Vonleh, yeah, he hits a little bit, but he looks very slow. He looks like shooting the ball, going to the basket, and even his moves, they look real slow. And like, you know, they do have they have Big Mac Biyombo going off the bench. I guess it never hurts to add another low post threat. He can face up and shoot. But
I think he's actually like 6'9"
on the board.
He's like 6'9", but I think he got 7'4" thing, so he's 7'4" wingspan. So I mean, he helps him out down there.
Okay, well, I'll have to see him. I'm gonna just have to see more of him, I guess, until I get the jury. You know, the jury's actually out. There was one other thing. Yeah, Adrian Payne went to the Hawks at 15.
Yes.
I don't know how I feel about that. I don't think that
I will
was
say
really
this.
a need for that slide.
I don't know why you don't think it wasn't one, because if you go and you look at that squad, you got my man Teague, who you slept on, then you got my boy Millsap, and then you have the way they play. They want to spread the floor to create lanes, and then they want to kick out the shooters. Payne is 6'9". He can help on boards and he can shoot. So he opens the paint up more if they do get Horford back, or even if Millsap and them go ahead and penetrate and doggone take advantage of their mismatches. So for the scheme of which they're running right now in Atlanta, he does go ahead and he fit that. And then you don't take that 7 foot off the floor who shoots threes again. And then
I thought they should have went with somebody like Rodney Hood, because when you have DeMarie Kell and Cartier Martin basically being your small forward, I think that's a glaring need. Yeah, Millsap can do everything that Payne's doing, and then Horford's coming back. So to me, your 4 and 5 are established. That small forward, it was a gaping hole this team had, and I thought, you know, Rodney Hood or somebody could have been answered that. Payne, he does have a jumper, but he has a jumper from the college 3-point. We don't even know if he has NBA range as far as shooting that far out yet.
Well, I will say this. A lot of people don't view my man Millsap as a multi-forward player. So the Hawks could be thinking we get Horford back, put Payne the power forward, put Millsap at the 3, along with Teague and whoever else they're going to put in the shooting guard spot.
Man, you always telling Millsap at the 3, man.
I know. Look, y'all always being disrespectful with that. Y'all always I know because y'all said it because of Utah, but he's played both. Like, y'all keep acting like this boy is stiff. He's not stiff. He has a lot of good lateral quickness and movement.
Well, where did he made the All-Star team this year because what? Horford went out early and he basically played the 4. Yeah, he basically played the 4 this year.
He made the All-Star team because it's the first year he didn't play in the West.
No, I'm just saying, though, he was more productive at the 4. He takes advantage because he's like a poor man. He's like a poor man's Barkley at the 4. He's a little on the side, but he has the size and strength to be effective, where he can still rebound, he can face up and shoot. But at the 3, I think he'll just be a tad bit too slow. You know.
Okay, well, I mean, I hear you, but on their system, he'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, but you're saying go ahead and put him at the 3 and put Payne at the 4.
Yes. Remember, they're going to spread the floor anyway, so it doesn't matter because they're going to have my man Teagan Millsap break people down or take advantage of their mismatches, and then if you slack off anybody, those other people around them are going to be shooting threes with Korver and everybody else. So for what they want to do, that's good. I don't like that style of play, but that's good.
Hey, and I guess gosh, I can't remember your boy's name right now. Yeah, Perkins.
Who that?
I guess they really Perkins for Oklahoma City. I guess they're really trying to phase this dude out gradually because they drafted Mitch McGary, the power forward from Michigan. They got Steve Adams last year. I guess they're saying we need some help.
He needs to be phased out. I mean, because he's a bum, and then Collison is not getting no younger. They got the young boy Adams coming up. They need to go ahead and, get some other younger, longer, athletic cats down there. Let Perkins go to pasture, and somebody need to get doggone Slim Reaper in their weight room. So.
How long was Perkins' contract? This thing should be expiring soon, shouldn't it?
Yeah, I don't even know. But if anything, you would think this would more than likely be his last year because he's been collecting that $9 million for a minute.
Well, they have Perry Jones too. Hopefully, another year under his belt, he'll be able to contribute more with Oklahoma City too. Because their window, man, is. I'm not saying it's the beginning of somebody thinking about shutting the shutters on them dudes. So I think they're going to go either way this year. You know, I think this year's going to chill out. If they don't make it to the conference finals, I think Kevin Durant may start scratching his head like, I don't know about this after all. So this is a big year for Oklahoma City coming up, man. And they might lose Reggie Jackson. I think he's a restricted free agent. I have a feeling he's going to get overpaid. Really
well, if they get those. No, but he'd be good for a certain squad for the point guard spot. So, but hey, man, listen, we all know this team went downhill once they got rid of Harden. So once they got rid of Harden, they broke up that specialness right there. To me, it's a wrap for OKC. So.
Hey, man, that's why you got to open up the checkbook, baby. Oh, and this is the last thing I'm saying, man, before we get out of here, but I'm really, really pissed at the Washington Wizards today, too, man. They only had one pick in the draft, and they sold it to the Lakers. You only have 5 dudes under contract. You had the best season you've had in probably the last 10 years. So you finally have a little traction. You know, Russ Smith was still on the board. You know, Patrick Young didn't even get drafted, the power forward out of Florida. There were some things that could have helped.
Neither did McAdoo.
Yeah, neither did McAdoo, right? So or they could have just kept Jordan Clarkson, the player they drafted that they traded to the Lakers, the point guard out of Missouri. I don't get these teams. Like, if you want to be, you have to pay to play. And, the reward is you fill up your arena, your jersey sale, you get on TV more, and that's how you make money on the other side. But you have to invest in your product. And to me, this right here shows the Wizards aren't vested in winning. And pretty much I can guarantee the success they had this year will not translate next year.
Wow.
I can see them going from a 5th seed to an 8th seed or maybe out of the playoffs. Simply, like right now, they're in a bad situation, too, because Martell Wester's having back surgery. They knew he had that. They knew, of course, the team knew he was going to have back surgery. They knew it yesterday and still traded the pick. That's just not a smart organization, man. You know what I'm saying? So
I've always said that to you before. It starts at the top.
Hey, it definitely does. It definitely does. So, you basically decided to not participate in the best draft that this league has had in 10 years when you just had a player that's going to miss half of the next year with back surgery. So it tells me, and the Lakers did play heavy for it. They paid almost $2 million. So the owner's interested in just getting a little cream in his pocket as opposed to investing in the team he owns. So that to me shows and proves that you're not vested in actually winning a championship. You can tell the public that all you want, but your actions speak louder than your words. We know for sure. But I think we covered all our bases in the draft pretty much. I mean, we can go in deeper, but for the most part, I think we covered all the big parts. So what we'll do is we'll hold tight, man, and see what next week's a big week. The big three get together in the NBA to decide if these guys are going to opt in and out, and should be a little free agency frenzy going on, which will be fun. So we can get into that as well, man. So it has been a pleasure.
Likewise, I just want to go ahead and say that, I was right about the number 1 pick, but everybody is going to Facebook page and look at the question I asked about who's going to be a bust out of the 3 freshmen that went and got drafted.
Okay, yeah, I'll definitely get in that, and everybody's listening, please get your comments on our BeatStreet Sports Back page. Enjoy your weekend. We'll talk with you soon. Peace.